Hello, my dear warrior. So specially you arrived. You are here. Welcome. They thought it was harmless hype. Remember? They ran their mouths, told the world you were the one, said it as a joke, a jab, a little public circus to keep you dancing under their lights. But prophecies don't care about motive. A label said loud enough becomes law. And now their own words shadow them down empty hallways, echoing in conference rooms, rattling in midnight mirrors. Because the moment they spoke your name with that crown attached, the universe filed paperwork. You didn't chase the title, you made it uncomfortable. You went quiet, sharpened in the dark, and let their announcement do the marketing. Every room you enter now carries a hush that doesn't belong to you. It belongs to their past voices. The promise they threw like confetti turned into iron. You became the standard they set to mock you, and then couldn't meet themselves. That's the joke, clown mask and all. They built your myth, and now the myth walks in wearing your face, collecting interest on every syllable they spent. At first, it was just noise to them, mockery dressed up as prophecy. They told crowds, whispered in rooms, spread through streets, that's the one. They thought it was humiliation, a way to trap you under pressure. But words are spells, and once spoken, they can't be unsaid. Now those same words circle back like vultures, crushing their pride, because you grew into the very thing they never expected. Every time your name surfaces, their stomach twists, because their own voices built the stage you stand on. They armed destiny with their tongues, and destiny doesn't return forces unused. That's why their laughter sounds nervous now. That's why their smiles don't reach their eyes. They know the truth. It wasn't your claim, it was theirs. They gave the world your crown, and now it's welded to your head, heavier than their hate, brighter than their lies. Every street corner, every dim hallway, every late-night conversation, it follows them. Their own words, looping back like chains they locked on themselves. You were the one. They said it to mock, to belittle, to paint you as a joke. But now, when those words resurface, the tone has shifted. No longer laughter, only regret. Because the world believed them even when they didn't. And once belief spreads, it cannot be recalled. They handed you the prophecy, and you fulfilled it with scars instead of applause, silence instead of spectacle. That's why they avoid the topic now, why their eyes flicker when your story is told. They can't rewrite the record, can't erase the echo, can't silence the prophecy. Every time your name rises, it drags their betrayal behind it like chains. And deep down, they know destiny wasn't joking. They told the world you were the one, and now the world agrees. It started as entertainment, didn't it? A careless label tossed out like confetti. They laughed. The crowd laughed. And for a moment, you were nothing more than a punchline. But destiny has a twisted sense of humor. That joke hardened into judgment. Those words they used to mock you became the measuring stick of their own downfall. Because every scar you carried, every silence you endured, every victory you stacked in the dark fed the prophecy they accidentally launched. And now they can't escape it. The clown mask they put on your face is gone, replaced by a crown they forged with their own ridicule. What was once a game turned into scripture, and the scripture shadows them. Because each time you rise, it proves they were the authors of your legend. They can't undo it, can't retract it. The verdict is carved. The words they used to bury you became the words that crown you. They thought they were clever, handing you a crown as a joke, spitting out a prophecy to mock you in front of the crowd. But the universe doesn't care about intent. It only cares about truth. And truth clung to their words like chains. Now every time they speak your name, they hear their own voices faltering. They announced your destiny before you lived it, and now they're trapped inside their own script. Because every move you make, every scar you turned into steel, every silent victory, they all confirm the prophecy they set loose. They can't undo it, can't retract it, can't outrun it. Their mockery became your force. Their ridicule became your evidence. And that's why it lingers. Because they don't just face you. They face the echo of their own words, circling forever, proving them right in ways they never wanted. They thought those words would fade after the laugh. You were the one, just a joke, a smirk, a little noise for the crowd. But words have weight, and the heavier they spoke, the heavier the chains became. Now every victory of yours drags their prophecy louder. Every scar you turned into steel reflects it back in their own voices. They don't just see you rising, they see themselves confirming it. That's the torment. They created the prophecy and destiny sealed it to you like armor. Their lies became your proof. Their jokes became your scripture. Their doubt became your throne. And now the very phrase they played with has turned into their nightmare. Because once the world believes a story, the authors can't retract it. They told the world you were the one. Now the world agrees, and their own words have caged them in regret. Every time your story is told, their own voices betray them. You were the one. That phrase doesn't disappear. It stalks them, woven into every corner of their past. They hear it in their own heads at night, in the silence between fake laughs, in the tension when your name cuts through a room. They can't escape it, because those words didn't belong to you. They belonged to them. They set the prophecy in motion, and now it clings to their legacy like chains they can't break. And here's the cruel twist. Every win of yours, every scar you turned into a force, every step you take forward, it amplifies their voice, not yours. They built the echo chamber, and now they're trapped inside it, listening to themselves crown the very ghost. They tried to erase. Their words became your wings. Their prophecy became your throne. They scramble now, desperate to rewrite the scene, to rip down the curtain they hung with their own hands. But it's too late. Once the world hears a prophecy, it doesn't unhear it. Their voices turned into scripture, their mockery turned into law, and the audience they once entertained, now they're watching with suspicion, asking the question that terrifies them. Were they right? Is this the one? That's the shadow that follows them everywhere. They can't laugh like before, can't dismiss you like before, because every denial only makes the prophecy louder. They gave you a role in a play they thought was comedy, but destiny flipped the script. It became tragedy, and they are the jesters choking on their own lines. You don't even need to act anymore. The spotlight was wired to their words, and now it burns them while it crowns you. Every time they hear your name now, it drags their own voices with it. You were the one. At first it was mockery, now it's confession, because destiny doesn't let words dissolve. It ferments, grows heavier, more venomous to those who spoke them. And that's the curse. Their own prophecy turned against them. They handed you a crown before you asked, and now they suffocate every time it gleams in public. They wanted to laugh, but laughter soured into regret. They wanted to bury you, but the prophecy unearthed you. They wanted to humiliate you, but humiliation became coronation. And now they're stuck, prisoners of their own announcement, forced to watch as every scar you turned into armor proves their words true. They don't just face your rise, they face the haunting reminder that they built the stage for it. They swore you'd never touch a throne, but then they made the fatal mistake. They gave you one with their own words. You were the one. They said it with venom, meant it as a taunt, but the universe heard it as truth. Now that crown sits heavy on your head, not because you demanded it, but because they declared it. Every scar you carry is a jewel. Every silence you endured is gold. Every victory you stacked in the shadows is iron. They thought they were joking, but their joke became prophecy, and prophecy became coronation. That's why they can't look you in the eyes, because when they see you, they see their own mouths handing you power. They forged the very crown that now bends their backs. And the cruelest twist? It's not your burden, it's their sentence. You wear the crown, but they carry the shame of forging it. It doesn't leave them, not even when the lights go out. Alone in their rooms, voices replay in their heads like a broken record. You were the one. What once felt like power now stalks them like a shadow. They wanted those words to embarrass you, but instead they bound themselves to a prophecy they can't undo. And every time your name rises, the echo sharpens. It slips into their laughter, poisons their conversations, lingers in their sleep. They thought they could forget, but destiny has a cruel memory. It reminds them daily of the crown they handed you. And the worst part? The world remembers too. Their own echo betrayed them. Their own joke crowned you. Their own prophecy became your monument. They don't just live with regret now. They live with the haunting reminder that they created the very myth that overshadows them. The cruelest part? They can't take it back. Once they told the world you were the one, the stage was set. Their words became chains around their necks, tightening every time you rise. They thought it would fade like gossip, but gossip turned into prophecy, and prophecy hardened into law. Now when crowds chant your name, all they hear is their own voices echoing in shame. They created the expectation to mock you, but destiny flipped it into obligation. And every time you deliver, every time you breathe in silence and step forward stronger, their regret deepens. They're not haunted by your victories alone. They're haunted by the fact that their mouths built the platform you stand on. Their laughter became your crown. Their mockery became your monument. Their voice became your scripture. They cursed you in public, and in doing so cursed themselves. The world won't forget, and neither will they. Because once they told everyone you were the one, that phrase became tattooed on their legacy. No matter what else they achieve, those words follow them like a shadow. And here's the cruelty. Every triumph of yours makes the stain darker. They thought they were branding you, but instead they branded themselves. History won't remember their smirks. It won't remember their mockery. It will remember the prophecy they handed you and the regret that crushed them afterward. They cursed their own story by crowning yours. And now they live with the bitter truth. Their names are chained to your legend, their pride swallowed by their own prophecy. They don't just watch you rise, they watch themselves sink in the weight of words they can't unsay. That stain never fades. It becomes the only thing people remember when their names are spoken. Every brick of your throne wasn't laid by your hands alone. It was cemented by their voices. You were the one. They said it to mock, but the world took it as truth, and truth has gravity. It pulled eyes toward you, dragged attention onto your scars, forced belief into your silence. You didn't beg for the spotlight. They shoved you into it, and once you stood there, destiny claimed it. That's why they can't escape you now. Because every time you rise, it feels like their voices echo from the past, replaying their prophecy. You didn't just survive their laughter, you turned it into architecture. The same words that were meant to bury you built your throne instead. And now whenever they see you standing tall, they're forced to remember they spoke it into existence. They handed you the crown, and their own words will forever bow before you. Here's the irony that tears at them every night. They equipped you, not with banners, not with allies, but with words. You were the one. They spoke it to mock, but destiny heard it as a decree. And now those very words snap back like boomerangs, stinging the pride of the ones who threw them. They thought prophecy was harmless, but prophecy doesn't dissolve, it transforms. It turned into your armor, your aura, your evidence, every scar you stacked under. Silence made their declaration heavier, sharper, more undeniable. That's why they can't stand beside you now. Because when the world chants your name, it's not just you they see. It's their own voices betraying them, their own laughter crowning you, their own arrogance sealing your throne. They became unwilling witnesses to your rise, haunted by the fact that they forged the very force that now rules them. Here's the consequence destiny loves most: watching people get caught in their own echoes. They told the world you were the one, meant it as a joke, a little stab of humiliation. But words are tools, and those words built their own trap. Now every victory of yours adds more weight. Every scar you turned into strength stacks another layer. They thought laughter erased accountability, but laughter only amplified the loop. Because once you crown someone publicly, you can't uncrown them privately. Their voices built the prophecy, and now their voices bury them in regret. They tried to bury you, but instead they buried themselves. And you? You don't lift a hand, you just keep moving, silent, inevitable, letting their words become the gavel that closes their case. They told the world you were the one. And now that truth is the only thing they can't outlive. What they don't admit is that those 4 words became chains. You were the one. They thought they were mocking you, but the prophecy stuck to them harder than it stuck to you. Because every time your name surfaces, people look at them differently. Weren't you the ones who said it? That question cuts like glass. They can't run from it, can't deny it, can't scrub the record clean. The prophecy owns them now. They carry it like a mark across their legacy, branded on their reputation. They made themselves the heralds of your rise, the unwilling announcers of your coronation. That's why their smiles look strained, why their pride leaks through cracks, why their voices sound hollow. They know destiny doesn't let words dissolve. It carves them into stone. And now, no matter how much they fight, their own prophecy kneels to you first. It doesn't fade. It doesn't weaken. It doesn't dissolve. Those words, you were the one, live on, etched into the air like graffiti that destiny refuses to wash away. They thought it was just performance, a laugh for the crowd, a joke for the night. But jokes end. Prophecies don't. Now every move you make breathes new life into their mistake. Every scar you carry polishes the crown, they mocked you with, and every victory you carve in silence makes the echo louder. They can't erase it, because it isn't yours to erase, it's theirs. They birthed it, they spread it, they chained it to your name, and now it follows them through every hallway of their pride, a chant they can't shut off. The prophecy became enduring, and endurance has chosen its vessel. You don't just wear their words, you rule with them. Watch them now, their posture, their tone, their silence. It tells the truth, louder than any confession. They regret it. They regret ever saying your name with a crown attached. Because when they look at you today, they don't just see the scars you turned into steel. They see their own voices building your legend. They can't erase it, can't retract it, can't outrun it. Every glare you give, every calm step you take, every silent win you deliver is a reflection pushed back in their faces. They wrote your prophecy as a joke, but now they live with it as a loop. And regret has no quick cure. It just lingers. That's why their smiles look weaker, their laughter more hollow, their presence more brittle. They aren't just haunted by who you became. They're haunted by the truth that they spoke at first. They authored your rise, and now they wince at the credit. They still try to laugh, still try to act like your rise doesn't bother them. But masks don't hold forever. When your name cuts through a room, their expressions betray them. Smiles crack, eyes flicker, voices stumble. Because deep down, they remember what they said. You were the one. It wasn't supposed to last, but now it lasts longer than their confidence. The prophecy tails them like a shadow, peeling back their masks every time you win again. They can't keep pretending it doesn't rattle them, because everyone else remembers too. The crowd remembers their words. The streets echo their prophecy, and the world watches them stumble through the aftermath. You don't need to expose them. Their own discomfort does the work. Because no matter how polished the mask looks, regret leaks through cracks. And the crown they mocked you with glows brighter every time their mask slips. Some words fade with time, swallowed by dust, forgotten like passing noise, but not theirs. You were the one. That phrase became constant, etched into every corner of your story, replaying louder with each step you take. It follows them into meetings, into conversations, into the silence of their own thoughts. They can't silence it because it isn't yours, it's theirs. Their own prophecy betrays them, echoes back like a judgment. They can't appeal, and the cruelest part, it grows heavier the more they resist. Every attempt to downplay you, every lie they spread, every whisper of doubt only amplifies the echo until it drowns their voices completely. You don't need to remind them who you are. The echo does that for you. And it will never fade. Because words spoken with spite don't dissolve. They mutate into chains, and those chains now bind them to your throne forever. They wanted the crowd to laugh, to mock, to see you as a spectacle. Instead, the crowd remembered. The prophecy stuck. You were the one, and over time, it transformed into something greater than they imagined, a legend. Not built by your claims, but by their own voices. That's what eats them alive, because the story of your rise is forever tied to their mouths. They became the unwilling narrators of your myth, the architects of the very throne they tried to deny you. And now, when your victories echo, people look back to them and say, "Didn't you call it first?" That question crushes them, because it forces them to live in a loop, where they crown you every time your name rises. They thought they cursed you, but all they did was immortalize you. They tried to build a mockery, and instead they built a monument. This is the final cruelty. The prophecy is no longer theirs to control. Once released, it became Destiny's property. You were the one. They spat it out as a joke, but the world took it as scripture. Now it clings to you like armor, echoes through streets like law, and trails them like a ghost that never leaves. They can't rewrite it, can't erase it, can't bury it under noise. Because every time you breathe, move, or win, the prophecy sharpens. They don't just face your rise, they face their own undoing, authored by their tongues. That's why their voices break now, why their pride fractures, why their silence feels heavier than their laughter ever did. They crowned you to embarrass you, but that turned into coronation. And Destiny signed the contract in their own handwriting. The prophecy is sealed. You are the one, and their words will follow them forever.